The days are longer, the calendar is filling up, and I want to feel as good as this beautiful summer weather. That's why I've been loving Groons. It's one daily pack of gummies that covers my greens, vitamins, and minerals, and even has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber. So I don't need to juggle a complicated wellness routine on top of everything else. They taste amazing. They're easy to toss in my bag on the go. Plus, they're vegan, gluten-free, and HSA, FSA eligible for reimbursement. Save up to 52% off with promo code podcast at Gruns.co. That's code podcast at GRUNS.co.
From the kids to Aunt Sue, keep your whole family connected on all their devices with crowd-pleasing gig-speed internet from Xfinity. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Go online, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit today. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed.
Welcome back to TalkNorth.com. Thank you for listening. If you can, please download before you listen. It helps our business. I'd also like to thank our producer, Brandon Morton, and let you know if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of the programs on the network, you can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. Welcome back to the Russo-Souhan Show. Today, we're going to try not to get Michael in trouble with his mother.
Oh,
we'll probably
goodness.
fail, but we'll try. I do want to tell you that our next live show, 5:30, August 21st, that's Tuesday night at Dulonos Pizza, downtown Minneapolis, 5:30 at Dulonos Pizza. If the Lynx have a home game, you can come over, catch the full Russo-Souhan Show, and still make opening tip and have some good pizza and drink in your belly before you get there. If the Lynx have a road game on Tuesday night, road playoff game, you can come to Dulonos, watch the Russo-Souhan Show, and then watch the Lynx game on one of their 85,000 big screen TVs, and play bubble hockey and jukebox and video games and pool and darts and all that other stuff too. Dulonos has been a great partner. We love going over there. And if you can't make it to the live show or you can't make it to Dulonos in person, they have delivery all over the metro. They have another Dulonos in Woodbury, so you can get delivery pretty much everywhere in the metro area. We highly recommend their pizza, their food, and also hanging out their
$12.99
joint.
weekday lunch buffet. Unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Pizza, subs, salad, fried chicken.
All good
cookies.
stuff. And if you are a fan of the network as a whole, our next live Viking Update show will be this Friday, 1 o'clock at the Mississippi Pub down in Inver Grove Heights. Come down for lunch, see the river, hang out. It's a cool place. We'd love to see you down there as well. All right, let's be honest. It's a slow time for hockey. I think you had a recent conversation with Fenton, right? You want to start with that?
Yeah, I was in Cancun, and he called. I sent an email to set up an interview just because I figured I better touch base with him. And he called. He was like, "What are you in Europe?" And I was like, "No, I'm in Cancun, but I'm bored out of my mind. So let's chat." So
you went to Cancun and you got bored?
Well, it was the first day. It was like, all right, this is awesome. Second day, I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do for the next 4? I became friends with his family that are from California.
You're like an adoption agency. You just adopt people everywhere you go.
Yeah, the guy owns a software company, and the mom's the coolest woman. They're from Orange County, 3 kids. They were at the end of they're in the final week of a 3-week trip that went on a cruise to the South Caribbean, Puerto Rico, and then Cancun. 3 weeks. But here's the most amazing thing. The guy who owns the software company disconnects for 3 weeks. Has not been on his phone.
Oh my God.
Like email, phone, nothing. He disconnects. There's an emergency number, essentially, like if his company is about to fall off the cliffs of Orange County into the ocean, call me. But otherwise, and he said it's the most therapeutic thing. He does it every summer, 3 weeks, totally disconnects. And as he's telling me this, I was on my phone. And so every time he came into the lounge of the thing and he looked at it, he goes, you need to get off your phone. You need to get off. I'm like, yeah, but I'm booking flights. And then we're at the pool one day. I was hanging out with his family, and we're at the pool, and all of a sudden I get this email from Sicky, the wild PR guy, who's going to call you in the next hour. And I'm like, all right, I'll see you.
It's a good way to disconnect.
And then I said to him, I said to the guy later, I'm like, you see, if I wasn't on my phone, I wouldn't have gotten that email to get ready for a Fenton phone call. So
here's the thing: is I tend to do at least something work related every day.
Yeah.
I know you do too, and I do it when I'm on vacation. And I think it's bad for me. I think it's the wrong way to live your life. And I know, when my wife wants to disconnect and I'm not disconnected, that's bad too. But I feel like if I don't do something every day, I'm going to be so far behind that I'm never going to catch up.
I can't imagine like his first week back at work, what the amount of fires he's going to put out and emails returned and phone calls and things like that. But I was trying to explain to them that we went to this incredible steakhouse, and I was trying to explain to him as I was on my phone at dinner that you never know when there's going to be news, and that like it's impossible for me to disconnect. And they're like, and I think they were having trouble buying it. They're like, is the world going to end if all of a sudden like you're scooped on a story? I'm like, yes, it absolutely will.
Yeah.
I will not be able to like survive that. So that was, but I mean, it must be cathartic. To just be able to not worry about anything, just concentrate in the moment, enjoy your vacation.
Well, I will say that a couple times, my wife loves cruises. I didn't think I'd like them. I liked them, but then the last one I went on, I was like, it has to be like the right setting and the right ship, going to the right places, not be surrounded by annoying people, all those things. But I will say the one thing about cruising is you do have to you can't be on your phone out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
You can't do it. And it is a different experience than being someplace where you can pick up your phone and check in with work or do a quick podcast. And it is probably therapeutic. I'm just not very good at doing what is. Yeah. You and I are not good at doing what is best for us.
Yeah, exactly. And then I met a couple from Minnesota. Actually, the husband's from Winnipeg.
You're developing a good Minnesota accent. That was a Minnesota.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
So Jets fans. So chatted with them. Met I won't say what team, but met a baseball scout and his girlfriend there, and we got talking about analytics in baseball and his rolling his eyes at the whole thing, and I almost gave away the team. Let's just say that he works for Billy Beane. Let's just guess that, okay? And he's like, even Billy Beane will tell you that it's to break a tie.
Right.
That it's not.
Exactly.
It's not. Look at the New York Mets. Everybody's saying right now that one reason why they stink is that they rely so heavily on analytics, and now that they're a mess, they don't know where to turn or how to fix it or things like that. And we were chatting about it, correlating between hockey and baseball, and I say the same way. If there's a human element to everything that you have to absolutely believe exists. And especially in hockey, I've talked about this all the time. One of the things that drives me crazy is the shooting percentage stat. I mean, unless you're Ovechkin, the majority of guys are just shooting the puck. And you're praying it goes in.
Right.
You're not picking
deflection.
spots.
You're hoping for deflection or a rebound.
So sometimes you get hot, sometimes you don't. And I get returning to the mean and things like that. But my point is that, and he would agree with baseball, where it's a lot more of a stats-driven business, is that too much is kind of spent right now on the whole analytics of all this stuff, and that you need to still scout with your eyes. And some of the players that he's most proud of were all that feeling that he had scouting that guy's just got it. He's got it in his heart. He was telling me this great story about. Now I'm going to tell you who it is. All right, let's just say, I won't say this. I don't want to say who it is because,
Tell you what, I'm going to let you sort out how you want to describe him while we thank Twill in the Dining Gallery, twillmn.com, TWILL on Instagram. Check them out. I wear their stuff all the time. Johnny O, Peter Millar. They have cool luggage. They have stuff that's innovative. They have stuff that's hand-stitched. They have high-end suits, but this time of the year they still have just lots of casual summer stuff, golf stuff, comfortable stuff. I won't mention the underwear that I buy there because it makes Michael very uncomfortable. So we won't mention that it's the most comfortable underwear I've ever worn.
Jim usually doesn't like to shop for clothes. I don't like it when he shops for clothes either, because he used to buy stuff I'd want to throw out. That's why I'm so glad he's found Twill in the Edina Galleria. He likes shopping there because of the comfortable environment and the friendly staff. He finds clothes that actually fit him properly and are high-quality brands that will look great for years, whether he's golfing or working. Our favorites so far are Peter Millar, Johnny O, and Barber. We spend our money at Twill because we love the clothes and we love the no-pressure shopping. Drop by Twill in the Edina Galleria for the best shopping experience and best clothes you'll find in the Twin Cities.
All right, let's get deeper into the analytics stuff.
Well, he was just telling me this great scouting story. You know, it's funny when you have a conversation with us and every word that comes out of a person's mouth, you're like, God, this would make a great article.
I know.
You know, have you ever, like, even like this software guy, I'm like, God, I wish I could write about you. It's like his 5th, 6th startup. I'm like, that's crazy.
Wow.
I have no business mind, and this guy's telling me about, you know, the gazillion companies he's started, and yeah, I'm just bored with that one, so I'm going to start this one.
He should talk to us.
Yeah, so I was trying to tell him about The Athletic, and he was pretty intrigued, and he's not a sports guy. But back to the scout that doesn't work for the Athletics. So he was telling me this great story about how he was telling me about what it's like to be a baseball scout and how much pride you have with your guy. That's my guy, you know,
yes,
things like that.
Absolutely.
And he was telling me this story about how it's tough. You go in every year in June, and you're so excited. You're hoping your team picks that player that you really loved in that one place. And he covers 3 or 4 states. And he was telling me this story about how it's just this weird experience. Like they have 1,500 names on a board at a baseball draft in their war room. And all of a sudden, you have like an intern, some other team will take a guy in the 4th round and he'll go over to that name, pull it off, and literally toss it in the garbage. So, you know, and a lot of times you know, as the draft is so quickly, and again, the baseball draft is not always, isn't it like on the phone almost?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's like, you know, so sometimes you miss guys that are being taken, and there's so many rounds and things like that. So all of a sudden, there's this one pitcher that he's absolutely in love with. And all of a sudden, he watches this intern go up to that kid's name and just throw it in the garbage. And all of a sudden, he's in his own mind thinking about the time that he went to scout this guy.
Yep.
And he's like, he's friends with this baseball coach at Old Dominion. Now I'm telling you the team. And he calls him up and he goes, it's a doubleheader. He goes, look, is this guy he's a reliever. Is he going to pitch in this game? And he goes, yes, I'll make sure he gets in for you. And he goes, all right, can you make sure that he's in the 9th inning of the first game? And he's like, not in the 9th inning, but can you make sure you get him in the first game because I really want to go drive 5 hours this way to go see this other person. And he's like, yeah, I'll do my best. So he drives 7 hours to Old Dominion. On the way, he gets a speeding ticket going. In his mind, 56 and a 55.
Oh, my God.
Gets into a fight with the cop. He gets the ticket. He barely makes the first game. He gets there. It's the 9th inning. Runners on first base, no outs. The guy is going to come in for the 9th inning, but they're up 3-0. So the first guy flies out, pops out. So next guy gets a hit. So first and second and 1 out. So all he needs is this other reliever to go in. He's warming up in the bullpen, and all of a sudden, boom, the double play ball. Like on a 2-0 count, you remember 2-0 count, fastball, and the guy swings at it with runners on first and second, double play ball, game ends. So now he's got to wait not only till the 9th inning of the next game to see his guy, but he's got to wait like 3 hours in between games to see it. So he waits that. He's now all of a sudden watches this guy come into the 9th, get a save, drives 7 hours back, misses the second game. And that's the guy that they threw out in the garbage. And he's like, but all of a sudden you're in this trance of remembering all I did to go watch him pitch one batter in the 9th inning in the second day of the 24-hour day. 7 hours there, 7 hours back, 7 hours at the 2 games. I mean, it's just so funny. And as he's telling the story, I'm like, yeah, I wish I had my tape recorder on.
Well, I mean, I've done those stories on scouts because when I covered baseball as a beat writer, I was friends with scouts all over the place, and that's what you did as a beat writer. It's what you do too. You talk to scouts all the time. Some of them were sources, some were just friends, some were just people you had chatted with and got insights from. And like Gene Glynn, the Twins' third base coach now, when he scouted for the Rays, I would talk to him, and he wasn't like a source, but he was a great source of information. He was so smart. He would tell me, yeah, this guy's about to go in a slump. This guy's about to get hot. He could see the game that way.
Yeah.
But Terry Ryan was at heart a scout, and I knew him when he was a VP of personnel and then later a GM. And people told legendary stories about Terry. Terry would drive 12 hours, see, again, a guy pitch one inning, and then he'd drive 12 hours, see the next guy pitch an inning. And you drive 12 hours, and then the game would be rained out. You'd never see the player. It was amazing. My favorite Terry Ryan scouting story, though, is Terry went out and rented a car and wanted to return it early. He got what he needed. He went back to the Chicago airport, was going to return it early. And they were going to charge him extra to return the car early. Well, Terry got ticked. He said, okay, I'm not going to pay extra to return it early. Yeah, well, that's our policy. He said, oh, that's your policy. Okay, so what if I return it a week from today? They said, well, yeah, then you'd be on your normal rate. And he goes, okay. He took the car and he put like 15,000 miles on it in a week or something and dropped it off, and like the engine smoking and shit. He said, you wanted it. Here's your deal. I drove all over the United States in your car. I went by your rules.
Well, this same scout, he drives a Hyundai, and all of a sudden he passed 300,000 miles. So he saw this and he pulls over the side of the road, takes a picture of the speedometer, and says, drove my Hyundai, $300,000 to watch, baseball, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden the Hyundai sees this. They do a whole campaign about him. He's on their Instagram account, things like that. And then he gets a personal email from the CEO of Hyundai. He's like, next time you buy a car, you contact me first.
Wow.
And he hasn't done that yet. He's going to drive his Hyundai into town.
Absolutely.
He is the prototypical scout. I mean, coach baseball at Wake Forest. I'm not going to tell you who it is, though. Coach baseball at Wake Forest. Played baseball at Wake Forest. Coach forever at University of North Carolina at Greensboro. He's just just a cool North Carolina accent. He's from Rocky Mount. Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Why don't you just tell us his name at this point?
Neil Avent.
So you're going to get this guy in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, did I say anything that would get him in trouble with Oakland?
I don't think so.
Other than maybe he was on vacation.
Or that he doesn't like the analytics.
Yeah.
Let's get more into the analytics stuff. Again, this is going to be kind of an offbeat show, and we will get to the ferocious Yorkie eventually, by the way. But,
oh my God!
But we do want to thank Whizkids.tech, Whizkids IT on Twitter. Go to their website is Whizkids.tech. Modern business models are constantly evolving. You can keep up if you work with people at WizKids. You can put everything you have in your company on the cloud. You can move simple applications to the cloud, entire infrastructure to the cloud. You can co-locate a combination of either in a secure local data center. Again, this is a local Minneapolis company. They have a beautiful website. They're really cool people, and they're exactly the kind of people we want to work with. They should be the kind of people you want to work with as well.
Hello, Minnesota sports fans. This is Michael Thanner, founder and CEO of WizKids. WizKids is a Minneapolis-based managed IT, hosted VoIP, and cloud services provider. Businesses today require fast response times, skilled support staff, clear communication, and technology recommendations that align with their business goals. At WizKids, we do this each and every day with our clients. When you call into our help desk for support or work with one of our higher-level engineers on a complex issue, you'll find our staff personable and ready to roll up their sleeves to help you solve your technology problems. Reach out to WizKids today to find out how we can help your business meet your technology goals. Visit us online at Whizkids.tech. That's Whizkids.tech. WizKids, make it happen.
So how many hockey franchises are really deep, almost slaves to analytics?
I mean, I don't know about slaves. It is funny how the Wild have evolved into it, because I remember years ago, they kind of poo-pooed it. They really did. And they actually, in a way, kind of rolled their eyes at teams that were hiring analytics people from websites. And then all of a sudden they went and hired the War on Ice guys and actually took what many felt was the best analytics website and shut it down. And now both those people, at least as last I looked, still work for them and things like that, and they're really intriguing and things like that. Again, I think that their job is to gather as much information that they can to aid the coaches, aid the general manager in his hockey decisions, but it can't be the end-all be-all. And I don't think that any team would make it. Like, there's no way. Like, Toronto is the one that a lot of people look at it and say, all right, Kyle Dubas, he's a big analytics guy and things like that. But they're like, you have Brendan Shanahan over him. There's no way they're making every decision that they need to make based totally on what's inside a computer screen. But it does help. I mean, there's I think a lot of people would like to talk to Bruce Boudreau and find out why he decides to do certain things in certain. The one thing that I asked Bruce at the end of the season was, in Game 4, why did Eric Staal not get more offensive zone starts? And these are the type of things that to me I find beneficial. But I'm never going to write based completely on analytics. That's why we try to have those type of people that could write at the Athletic and do it well and smartly. And we have some great ones there. But I think if you even sat with them, they'd even tell you that, look, hockey's a game played on the ice, and it can't be completely based on statistics and things like that. But I don't think that there's really any team that would be slaves to it. There are certain teams that use it more so than others. I think a lot of the old school coaches still have trouble getting used to it. But the game's getting younger, both in the front office and on the ice in terms of coaching. And I think that there will be more of a, Calgary's one team that I can think of right away that's big into analytics. Arizona, teams like that.
Thanks to Fixologyrepair.com. John Hedges, he comes out to live shows all the time. He's been a great friend to the network. They have a location, third floor of the Mall of America, right by Nordstrom's. They have a location downtown Minneapolis in the Skyway, just south of the Wells Fargo Center, right across from the Dunn Brothers and a Taco John's. They do engraving. They do things quickly. They are good with the watches, whether you need a new strap, a cleaning, or a complete overhaul. They repair, pretty much everything in terms of gadgets, iPads, phones, watches. They can kind of help you with all this stuff. They will repair iPhones. I still need to bring out there. They will repair your tablet. Check out all the things they can do for you at Fixologyrepair.com, or whether you're Mall of America or downtown Minneapolis, it's really easy to just drop by their store and not only see what they can do for you, but the kind of stuff they sell, including really cool watches, gadgets, phone accessories, etc.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at Fixologyrepair.com or at FixologyMN on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
See, here's one of my premises about analytics. I think everybody should have them, look at them, use them, try to have, and try to figure out what applies best. But for me, if you really pay close attention to sports and you aren't totally in love with analytics, so much of what happens in sports is due to personality. Torrey Hunter was a terrible minor league baseball player, right? He was a very raw guy. He didn't know what a slider was when he first came into the minor leagues. He had bad season after bad season after bad season. LaTroy Hawkins might have been the worst major league pitcher in history for like the first 3 or 4 years of his career. You could have come up with a million analytics in both of these cases and said, these guys are never going to make it. They can't function. They're not any good. But they were workers, and they had raw talent, and they figured out how to translate the raw talent into, game-specific actions, and then they became stars. And LaTroy they both played for 20 years, So personality is such a huge factor in sports.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And you see it all the time in hockey. We could debate it dead and continue talking about it until we're both, numb to it. But I think that even the most staunch analytics people would admit that it's a tool, and it shouldn't be the end all be all in terms of making every decision based on it. As Oakland says, it's to break a tie. There was a certain, that franchise, look what's going on with some of these small market teams now. It's like, you lose a team like Kansas City wins it all a couple of years ago, and now all of a sudden you lose a couple of position players and pitchers, and boom, you're starting over. And I think small market teams years ago started to figure out that, like, all right, we better be a little smarter than other teams because we have to figure out a way to do more with less means than the New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox, the Mets, and teams like that, the Cardinals. So they've developed all these type of tools to help them in situations. But if somebody who's working for Oakland says that they don't look at it as the end all be all, I think that should be a sign for everybody.
Absolutely. Let's do some Twitter questions from Generous Carriage. Our friend Lonnie, will the Wild be taking any cues from Vegas and making practices open to the public this season?
I have not talked to them about. Again, I hate to say it, but it's a public rink, so if you can get your way in, get your way in.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one from Lonnie. Looking at the roster he had to work with makes me wonder how Boudreau got 101 points out of this team. Any sense so far of the relationship between Boudreau and Fenton, especially as most GMs like to hire their guy eventually?
No, both have been in and out of town a lot. They'll have a retreat at Craig Leopold's Lake Owen palatial place here in the next week and a half, where they'll, I think, be able to, become tighter. But they've spent some time together, had some dinners, things like that. But again, relationships are not. Best friends fire best friends. So it doesn't matter how tight they are. If the Wild struggle and it's not Paul Fenton that's going to wind up losing his job. So right now. I look at their roster from last year, and they're returning with the same group, and I just think that there's this overall negativity about this team that even for me, who's the most cynical of beat writers, it's hard for me to really understand why that is. If they're healthy, they should be a better team than they were last year, and they made the playoffs fairly easily last year. And as Lonnie asks, Bruce did an amazing coaching job when you consider the fact that they got 100 points again for a team that was just ravaged by injuries from before training camp even began, when Granlund and Parisi got hurt, to in season when it was just a laundry list of injuries right from the start with Nino and Coyle and obviously Zach and Spurgeon and people like that. So if they're healthy, they should be better. What you got to hope for is that the guys that had great years last year, Stahl and Zucker, don't fall back, and the guys that had struggled a bit, the Niederreiters and the Coyles, Brodin, have better years.
Let's get to some more Twitter questions, including one from your favorite guy, Russo Slacks. He's got a Yorkie question. I do want to mention that Tony Hoaglund, Hoaglund. You held off on your side. That was pretty good. Hoaglund. He handles my insurance. He handles Michael's insurance.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoaglund. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number one in car insurance since World War II and number one in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
All right, from Cody Pollock, are the Wild going to be making any changes to in-arena experience to be more like Nashville or Vegas?
I haven't asked that question, but look, this is not going to be Vegas. Minnesota is what it is. They like that type of atmosphere, both internally and their surveys that they ask their fans. A lot of the reaction I saw from Minnesotans on Twitter during the whole Vegas thing was like they didn't want that to ever happen in Minnesota. I think that there could be a balance between making it more fun and things like that. Somebody asked me a question the other day on my mailbag, all upset about how even just in warm-ups, the music there, which is very Vegas-like. And I think the majority of Wild fans don't want the on-ice theatrics and the sort of like from start to finish sort of play that they put on in Vegas. I personally like it. But again,
you're a Vegas guy.
But things work there that, first of all, people are coming to the games a little pre-partied.
Yeah.
And, things work there that can't work in a lot of cities. And this is a very traditional market that I do think that it is incumbent on game ops to be to change things up and try to evolve and make things more fun, especially if things are bland on the ice, to get the fans going. But again, as always, as I always say here, the entertainment's going to have to be on the ice mostly.
From Russo Slacks, are you still grounded, Michael?
Yeah, my mother, even warning her last week, she didn't seem to help.
By the way, if you didn't hear it, last week we did a live show at Dulonos Pizza, again, downtown Minneapolis, 4th Street, right by Ramp C, right by Target Center, Target Field. Great place to go pregame or postgame or hang out. And we did the live show last week, and it was one of the best shows we've ever done. And we started talking about Barbara's dog getting attacked, and the phrase ferocious. Michael uttered the phrase ferocious Yorkie, and we could not stop laughing for the rest of the show. And so we are all in deep trouble with Michael's mother because Oliver was actually seriously hurt, and we weren't trying to make fun of that, but the idea that it was a ferocious Yorkie that did the damage, we could not. We felt very guilty about it, but we could not stop laughing.
Yeah, no, you definitely egged me on.
Yes, I did.
She sent me, as you could see, pictures of ferocious Yorkies afterwards. So, like, she claims that Yorkies are actually on the vets list of most potential dogs that could completely lose their mind at any given moment. I forget the.
This is reminding me of the old Monty Python Holy Grail, the killer rabbit sketch.
Yeah. There are some ferocious Yorkie pictures all over the internet, especially on YouTube. It's definitely worth it. But she was definitely not.
You're in trouble. You are grounded.
This Yorkie apparently was psycho. Like that cute little dog from Something About Mary that was hopped up on speed. Apparently that's what this dog was like. And now this poor dog, when it's in its stroller, has to wear a muzzle. But ferocious Yorkie was suddenly trending on Twitter. There's accounts now. People have changed their avatars to ferocious Yorkie.
Oh my God!
I've scarred this type of dog. Let's be honest. I will never, ever, ever buy a Yorkie.
No, you never will.
No,
and nor will I.
I think everybody out there that owns a Yorkie better keep their head on a swivel off that dog.
Yorkie head on a swivel.
That freaking dog could just explode at any given moment.
I can't believe we just had the phrases ferocious Yorkie and head on a swivel in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Oh, man. From Zeke Boyette, how many Avs fans do you think you've blocked on Twitter?
Must be a good amount because they don't bother me nearly as much as they used to. Every now and then I'll see one. I've tried to really lower my block count. It takes a lot to get blocked by me now. Now it's I just mute people. Hopefully nobody out there, I'm sure, that's listening right now has been muted by me. But I try not to. It really takes a lot. There's this one jackass that and actually I kind of looked at his account the other day, and he's such a nut job that he actually, and I know you're listening to this, he actually deleted 3-4 months of just crazy negative nut job tweets that he's started that he sends to everybody. Everybody's on his list. Richard Deitch is big time on his list. Lavelle. You're not really there. Pat Micheletti, LaPanta.
Did I just block him a long time
Hockey
ago?
Wilderness. They go after him all the time. Just he follows nobody anymore because I was the only one that he followed, and I've since blocked him. And he's got 3 followers.
So we really shouldn't be wasting any time on him, in other words.
Yeah, no. But so he's the last one, and that was a month and a half ago. So that just shows you how.
See,
I've
you've
calmed
disconnected.
down.
You've become a mellow human being.
Yeah.
You've gone to Cancun.
Yeah.
You're so cool.
Don't worry, Zeke. I will not block or mute you or anybody else that listens to this podcast.
I block everybody. From Tony Hoaglund, any guy that got 100 points out of this roster would be my guy. Tony Hoaglund weighing in on how he thinks Bruce Boudreau did a good job last year.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me more about what you did in Cancun.
Pretty much the same thing every single day. Woke up, went to breakfast, went to the gym, went to the steam room and jacuzzi, went to the relaxation room and didn't relax. And then I went and had lunch.
They should just rename the stress room when you're in there.
Went to the pool, then went back to the spa, and then ate dinner and just hung out with a bunch of people. Sat on my patio and drank wine and smoked a cigar even though there's no smoking signs everywhere.
Oh, man. You are a rebel, Michael Russo. You really are. Hey, if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of the shows around the network, we have the Cheryl Reeve show that's doing very well. The Viking show is doing very well. I really love our basketball show with John Krasinski and our baseball show with Roy Smalley. Some of the shows are getting close to being sold out, but we will always fit you in. If you want to be a part of the network, you can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. Podcasts are taking off. Check out the recent articles in the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, everything else. We are on the front end of a really cool thing, and we have the best people in town. I think we have the best listening experience in town. Also, one other thing, if you are going to listen, we prefer that you download. It's a better listening experience. You aren't subject to Wi-Fi going in and out, and it's also better for our business.
Cancun, also they're like inundated with seaweed now. It's
really
unbelievable. Google it. So the beaches were just an absolute mess.
Oh, no.
And blanketed with just brown gross seaweed.
Well, that's a huge thing there.
Yeah, I only left the hotel a couple times. One to go to that dinner at that steakhouse. One I went on a little snorkeling adventure in these mangroves. So that was kind of neat.
Tell me, is there anything else hockey related we should talk about this week?
No, I talked to Fenton. He did tell me that he will at the right time go visit Kaprizov. But right now, I mean, he is, again, anything's subject to change. But right now, he's looking forward to getting his eyes on this roster for the first time. It's suddenly real. Guys are trickling back into town slowly. A lot of the married guys with kids in school are really going to start coming back here in the next couple weeks. And so he just really wants to see what this roster has going for it. He wants to see the health of guys like Suter and Cunnin, but he's excited. This is a roster that's made the playoffs 6 straight years, and so if they can get off to a good start, then it gives him more information to potentially make a move down the pike. But this is new for him, running his own team, and at this point in the summer, he just wants to get his eyes on him. Hockey-wise. I think we talked about the lines on the last show, but again, I'm going to actually be with Bruce later today, so maybe I'll have more information on Tuesday about this team. But I think that I'm pretty accurate on my lines. Again, I think it's going to be Zucker, Granlund, and Stahl on your top line, Parise, Koivu with Niederreiter or Greenway on your second line, or whatever you want to call your second line, Greenway, Niederreiter, Eriksson Ek, and Coyle on your third line, and then your fourth line, a mix of Eric Fehr, Marcus Foligno, Matt Hendricks, and JT Brown. And so the question I have is, is he anointed and given a roster spot, or does he earn it? And if he earns it in camp, that's awesome. Or if he's just, kind of like Eriksson Ek last year had to make the team. They just talked about it to the point that you just figured he was on the team. I hope that's not the case with Greenway. He's got to earn it. And if Greenway's outplayed in camp by Cunnin, then he should make the team. If Greenway and Cunnin are outplayed by Matt Reed or Kyle Rao or whoever, then they should make it. And that's what and again, I'll not use an old Chuck Fletcher line, but your opening night roster doesn't mean you made the team. Right. They're going to change it. By the way, I mean, one thing that I guarantee, I'm going to ask Bruce this today, but I guarantee, at the end of camp, they're going to have a lot of roster moves where all of a sudden they'll have like 25 guys up. It would not shock me if when they go to Colorado for that final exhibition game, if like 10 guys are called up for that game. There is no chance that they are in their final preseason game in advance of playing Colorado in their season opener only 4 or 5 days later, going to play their lineup. So this year, their opening night lineup will probably be played in the second to last preseason game at home. There's just no chance that he's going to go on a plane and bring all these guys to play their biggest rival or one of their biggest rivals right before you could potentially play them in a game that really matters. So that's something else I'm going to talk to him about is again, you're going to have guys that are going to be cut early in camp that are all of a sudden going to suddenly wind up playing in that game, I bet. But I'll confirm that with him today.
Let's go to Michael for a final thought. Do want to thank Dulonos Pizza, downtown Minneapolis, Twill in the Edina Galleria, the fine men's clothing store that also has lots of cool casual stuff. Whizkids.tech. Check them out at Whizkids.it on Twitter. Fixologyrepair.com. And Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent in Champlin. Just one more note on Dulonos Pizza. It is just a great location. It is 118 North 4th Street. That's 4th with a number 4. 118 North 4th Street, Minneapolis. Check them out at DulonosPizza.com. Dulonos Pizza on Twitter. And again, they deliver pretty much everywhere. And they have lunch specials, happy hours, everything. They've been around 60 years. Great local institution that we are really proud to be working with. Michael, final thought.
That's really it for Twitter questions, huh?
Yeah,
slow day.
Slow day. It's slow time of the year, So that's why we talked about so much.
What do you think of this
stuff.
freaking loser from the Marlins yesterday throwing at is Acuna?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, here's a guy that's like, it reminds me of, remember when Jason Zucker had like goals and he had like 6 straight wild goals?
Yep.
Here's a guy that is like major league history with how hot he is, leading off games with home runs. 8 homers in his last 6 or 7 games. Lead off homers in 3 straight games. And this piece of crap from the Marlins opens up a game by plunking the guy on his left elbow to the point that he actually hurt him.
Horrible.
Like, what a moron. And you know what? Don Mattingly should be accountable for that. And I love Don Mattingly.
Yeah, but you're right.
Like, I mean, what an absolute asswipe.
And this is where baseball needs to just say, okay, you know what? You're out for a month. You're suspended for a month.
I mean,
You're suspended the rest of the season.
It's just a horrible thing for the sport.
Yes.
You have all these fans that came all excited to watch this guy, see if he could do it again, and you are such a gutless piece of crap that you plunk the guy on his elbow. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, and this is the problem with baseball.
And then he throws his freaking glove down like, yeah, man. Like, and his excuse is that I'm such a wild pitcher that I led the league and hit batsmen. Like, that's your excuse that, every other start I plunk a guy.
It's baseball can be a great sport, but it can also be a really backwards, stupid sport.
Yeah.
And this is an example of the stupidity of so many baseball players who think because somebody told them when they're 8 years old that there are all these unwritten rules about baseball and you got to be tough and you got to prove who's a man. It's all this macho.
Yeah, you know what? How you prove a man? Throw the ball to the guy and let's get him out. Let's see if you could break his
Play
streak.
the game. Get him out.
Freaking. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Frankly, to me, the parallel is gooning it up in hockey. Okay, here's this great score for the other team. I'm going to go beat him up because that helps my team.
And that doesn't happen. There's an error. I mean, now the problem is that where the guys that aren't purists or they're the ones that don't like fighting when it's like, stage fights or fourth liners. But it's not like the old days where you had the guy going out there to protect the Mikhail Granlunds of the world or things like that. Like that doesn't exist. The other thing is back in the day, man, I mean, when I was growing up watching hockey and definitely well before, there were bench clearing brawls and bench clearing every single night.
Yep.
And that doesn't happen anymore. And it's why? Because the league took care of it.
Yeah.
And baseball needs to take care of this by sending a freaking message to the Marlins. Everything. I mean, Mattingly, freaking fine Jeter, all these. It's disgusting what this guy did. It really is.
No question
and he
about
injured
it.
him.
And that's the amazing thing is that hockey, which is probably the most traditional of sports, has actually evolved more than baseball in a lot of ways.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thanks to our producer, Brandon Morton. Thank you for listening. We really do appreciate it. Obviously, the season, we'll get to more hockey talk as the season gets closer. We'll have a lot more information to talk about. Sometimes we like to do kind of an offbeat type show like this one. Thanks for the Twitter questions. And check out the rest of the shows around the TalkNorth.com network. We'll talk to you next week from Dulonos, 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday night, August 21st.
Pretty little city built on a hillside. Music in the bars and fire in the sky. We went to the beach and it was covered in ice. And I used to call it home. So much coming out, there's nothing going in. I know that you feel like you're never gonna win. Oh, but the world won't forgive a winner.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hey, Jamie, it's me, Jamie. This is your daily pep talk. I know it's been rough going ever since people found out about your a cappella group, Mad Harmony, but you will bounce back. I mean, you're the guy always helping people find coverage options with the Name Your Price tool. It should be you giving me the pep talk. Now get out there, hit that high note, and take Mad Harmony all the way to nationals this year! Sorry, it's pitchy.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hey, Jamie, it's me, Jamie. This is your daily pep talk. I know it's been rough going ever since people found out about your a cappella group, Mad Harmony, but you will bounce back. I mean, you're the guy always helping people find coverage options with the Name Your Price tool. It should be you giving me the pep talk. Now get out there, hit that high note, and take Mad Harmony all the way to nationals this year! Sorry, it's pitchy.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.